Wallpaper. Real life stories. Story 1. I met a guy. Everything was going well. He was attractive, polite, and on the third date, he invited me over. I walked into his place and saw a huge portrait on the wall. His portrait, not a photo, an actual oil painting in a frame with lighting. He was standing there in a suit like Napoleon. I asked, "Is that you?" He said yes, his mom gave it to him for his 30th birthday. I asked if she was an artist. He said no, she commissioned it. I looked at the portrait. The portrait looked back at me. I said, "I think I left my iron on." I left. At home, I told my friend everything. She said I overreacted. Maybe he's just a mama's boy. I said there was lighting on the portrait. She said, "Go back." I didn't. Some red flags are not negotiable. Story 2. First date. The girl is beautiful, smart, everything feels right. We're sitting, talking, everything is going great. The waiter brings the bill. I reach for it. She says, "No, let's split it." I say, "Don't worry, I invited you." She says she believes in equality. Fine, we split. I pay my half. She takes out her wallet, looks at the bill, and says, "Do you have change for this amount?" I say I don't have cash. She says, "Then you pay now, and I'll send you my part later." I pay the full bill. She never sent it. We dated for 3 months. She never sent it once. Very principled person. Story 3. I met a girl at a party. Everything was good. We left together. In the morning, she woke up before me. I heard noise in the kitchen. I thought she was making coffee. Nice. I walked out and she was rearranging everything in my cabinets. Quietly, focused. I asked what's going on. She said your grains were next to your spices. That's wrong. I said I'm used to it. She said you'll get used to it differently. I looked and she had already rewashed the dishes that were drying and put them away her way. I said, "This is your first time here." She said, "Exactly. Fresh perspective." She did make coffee too. It was good. I still don't know how to feel about it. The cabinets are actually more convenient now. Story 4. I followed a guy on Instagram. He was attractive, traveling, posting smart things. He followed me back, messaged me. We started talking. After a week, he said he'd be in my city and asked to meet. I agreed. We met at a cafe. In real life, he looked even better than in photos, which already felt suspicious. Smart, interesting to talk to. After an hour, he said he's actually a blogger with 1.5 million followers on his main account, and he makes dating content, and asked if he could post a video about our meeting. I said, "Wait, is this a date or filming?" He said both. That's how he always meets people. Turns out there was a camera in his glasses the whole time. I stood up, politely said goodbye, and left. At home, I found his channel. There were many videos like that. Girls looking into the camera in his glasses without knowing. Now I'm checking if I'm there. Story 5. I started a new job, small team, everyone met each other. One coworker, Igor, immediately started flirting, light and funny, tolerable. A week later, he asked if we could grab drinks after work. I said yes. A few days later, we went out on a Friday. We're sitting at a bar. Everything is good. He's funny, not boring. Actually listens. At the end of the night, he said he had to confess something. I thought he was married. He said he had made a bet with coworkers that he would ask me out within the first week, but then he genuinely wanted to spend time with me. I asked who won the bet. He said Sasha from accounting, because he didn't make it before Friday of the first week. We ordered another round. We've been dating for 6 months now. Sasha got about $5 and thinks he's responsible for our relationship. Story 6. I met a girl online and we started talking. Everything was going well. I really wanted to impress her, be witty, deep, interesting. Before every message, I started asking ChatGPT what to reply, what to write, what joke to make. The AI helped, and she said I was really interesting to talk to. After a month of texting, we met. In real life, I was completely different. I got nervous, quiet, couldn't come up with jokes on the spot. She wasn't rude, but after the date, she texted, "You're different in real life." I admitted everything. She paused and said, "Do you realize I've been talking to someone else for a month?" I didn't know what to say. We stopped talking. The worst part is I actually liked her. But I was so afraid that the real me wasn't interesting enough that I lost someone because I was afraid to be myself. Story 7. My husband gave me a spa certificate for my birthday. Nicely wrapped with a card, I was happy. I came to the spa and handed it to the receptionist. She looked at it and said, "This certificate expired 3 months ago." I said, "How expired? I got it yesterday." She showed me the date. It expired in January. It was April. I called my husband right from the desk. I asked where he bought it. He said, "Wait." Long pause. Then he said, "I found it in a drawer." I said, "You gave me someone else's expired certificate from a drawer." He said, "I thought they don't expire." The spa made an exception and accepted it anyway. The receptionist heard the whole conversation. Total fiasco, but that's the kind of men these days. Story 8. My boyfriend asked me to meet his mom, said just a simple dinner, nothing serious. I came over. His mom opened the door, looked at me and said, "Come in. I've been waiting for you for a long time." I said, "What do you mean a long time?" She said Max had been showing me your photos for 2 years. I turned to Max. He was looking at the floor. We had been dating for 8 months. She had been looking at my photos for 2 years. During dinner, she told me she knows where I work, my dog's name, and that my mom makes a great pie. Max told her everything. I sat there eating soup. Max was silent the whole evening. I went home alone. I kept thinking, was he thinking about me while being with other girls, or was I just an option after he finished having fun? This is something I definitely need to rethink. Story 10. I invited a girl on a first date, a decent restaurant, nothing fancy. Everything was going well, good conversation. We were laughing. We got the menu. She opened it and said she doesn't eat gluten, lactose, red meat, or anything fried. I said, "Okay." I looked at the menu, trying to find something that fits all 4 conditions. There was one salad. She asked if the dressing had mustard. I called the waiter. He went to check and came back saying yes. She asked for it without dressing. We spent 2 hours at the restaurant. I ate a steak. She ate leaves. The bill was the same. There was no second date. She texted that I don't respect her choices. I still don't understand which ones. Story 0. I met a guy on Tinder. We talked for a month. Smart, funny, nice voice in voice messages. We finally met. Everything was fine. We ate, walked, went to my place. And in the middle of it, he suddenly said, "Wait, can I turn on a podcast in the background? It helps me focus." I said, "What?" He said he's just used to it. Background noise helps. I was lying there thinking, is he serious or is this a joke? He turned on some podcast about investments. I was listening about portfolio diversification at the most inappropriate moment of my life. After that, he asked how it was. I said it was educational. We never saw each other again. I actually found that podcast later and finished it. A couple of minutes wasn't enough to understand anything, at least something useful. Wallpaper. New stories twice a week. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, consider subscribing and share it with someone close to you.